offer is words. Just words.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
What's going on, beautiful peoples?
Yes.
It's a phenomenal Saturday. Even though I haven't stepped out all day, I woke up super early just to make sure that everything was on point. And I have not walked out of this crib once. So I hope it is a beautiful day.
Yeah, it was freezing out
Yo,
there,
my man,
bro.
I
It's
jogged the
freezing.
other
It's
day
freezing. It's
and
freezing.
I fucking had one of those leggings that shows the ankles and shit.
Oh, no.
Yo,
Yeah, you
biggest
fucked
mistake.
up.
Frostbite.
You fucked
Dead.
up. You fucked
Yeah.
Welcome to Just Words, Nobody Cares. I'm your host, Ron Kane. We're going to get straight into it because today I'm super excited to have our guest on deck, which is a phenomenal person. But before we get into him, we're going to bring in my main man, my brother, Dre Drizzle.
Yes. What's going on, my brother?
Nice
What's
intro
going
song.
on? Ooh, you brought it back, bro. Yes.
How you feeling, baby?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Good. Here with y'all.
All right.
Let's get it rocking, man.
Let's get it popping.
Let's
Yo, because
man.
you had some throwback stories about our
Oh
guest today.
yes.
I'm excited to touch on.
Yes. I'm gonna have to remind them about the beginnings of the beginnings. Yeah.
As always, the lovely, the phenomenal Lady H. This is like your intro track.
Okay, yeah, I like it. Yeah. All right, that shows well. Just like, that was a throwback.
How are you doing today, my lovely
I'm
lady?
great. I mean, it's a nice, slow, beautiful morning. And you were singing in the apartment all day. So it was nice
you
to
go.
hear you like singing.
Hey,
on
What
the
was
other
he
side of
singing?
the
What
house.
was he singing?
Oh, I mean, he had like a bunch of tracks from the mid 2000s, early
you went old school.
2000s. Yeah,
Okay.
it was
Come on,
nice.
old school bits.
Yeah.
I was dropping fucking Marvin Gaye.
But now there's Marvin Gaye in there. There's Sade. I mean, it was
Oh,
a
yeah,
mix
no,
of
definitely
things.
a lot of
Yeah.
Sade
There's a lot of
today.
mix, but it was a nice playlist, and I enjoyed hearing you sing on the other side of the house.
I see the vibes.
Yeah, it was a happy morning.
Today we got a dope guest that I thought I had your fucking intro track on deck, and now I'm not seeing it on the board, and I'm getting a little tight.
Oh no.
I'm like, oh, and then I was really hyped about it too because I woke up this morning literally just to make his intro track. But fuck
Dad,
it.
you had made a new track?
Nah, I took like one of your old joints, and I was like, oh, that would have been in. But the track was the Carpenter joint,
Yes.
and I like when it goes.
That's the intro.
But today we got on deck my brother, my man, Homeboy Sandman.
Yes. What up, Ron? Yes, I thought that's what you should
Oh,
use.
no,
Use
fuck it.
Cajun,
I was like,
you know what I'm saying?
I was gonna use that as the outro, but fuck it, we gonna start. How you doing, baby?
I'm chilling, man. Everything is good. I'm excited to be hanging with you. You know what I'm saying? Hanging with Dre, hanging with H. Excited to see what the stories are. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, we was having fun, chilling.
Yeah, yo, every time I see you, the gaps of time are so drastic. And I was looking at my Instagram because I was cleaning it up and shit. And the time that I saw you was back in 2018, but it like for a brief period. But then I saw you again for my friend's giving that I didn't post any pictures
that's
for
right, yeah.
in 2020 because it was the height of COVID. People weren't supposed to get together. And it was supposed to be like a super intimate event.
God.
But
It's like
not,
50 people
Yo,
in a small
literally
space.
in the heights.
fun.
Here, right here.
Yeah, that was fun.
Somehow we had a banquet table fit into here. I don't know how. But thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Happy
Nah, I appreciate
happy
it
you
a
made
lot. Yeah, I appreciate it a lot. You having that event, bringing people together. You know?
Yo, bro, because it was definitely in a time period where now we had gone into it a few months after the shutdown and all that kind of stuff. And yo, like if you were big into the social media scene and people saw you with more than 2-3
my
people,
God.
they were like, "You're a murderer."
Yeah. You was putting people at risk. You was putting people at risk, bro. He was wrong.
You're
man. He was
outcast
putting
from
people-
society.
Yes, yeah. Breaking all the rules that what the governor of Cuomo was putting on,
my
bro.
man.
I'm like, I had to tell my friends, like, I didn't do anything. I just stayed home the whole time.
You had
And I had no one
a lot
over.
of people. You had a lot of people.
I operate in like the very liberal, educated world, and so all those people are very like uptight about everything.
People were too smart for their own good. I mean,
Literally.
how did you hold it down? Because I recall you having an event and then not having it.
Oh, well, I had a whole tour actually.
A whole tour.
When they started shutting things down, I was in the middle of a European tour.
Oh wow.
So we did half of that, and then the next half got canceled. But then we actually, for 2 of them shows, we was able to like still be like, all right, we not having a show because they canceled it, but this is where we gonna be at, and we gonna set up. So we actually had like little mini shows in a couple of spots in Switzerland, which is pretty fly. Cool. Then came back, had the next tour canceled. Then once they started doing touring again, had a tour set up. It was pretty lengthy, but then they hit it with the cats got to take shots to come to the tour. To come to the show, John.
Man said, "Get the vaccine.
Get the vaccine. You want to get these tours going.
Get the shots."
But yeah. So I didn't want to have people. I didn't want to have people being told they wasn't able to come to the show. Depending on what they did. So some of the promoters, they wasn't comfortable with that. And
my man just
so
navigated around.
It is what
that
it is.
topic hard body. You're a fucking politician.
Your PR training's excellent.
Who the fuck is your PR manager? Yo, shout out to whoever told this man.
Yes.
Do not say, I ain't give a fuck if niggas is vaccinated or not.
Well, I mean, no, everybody. Yeah, I told people come to the show no matter what. I don't. Everybody welcome my shows, whether they took a shot or whatever. Everybody welcome, whatever they want to wear on their body, face, whatever everybody come through the show. We all gonna have fun. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
That's I was. I was glad when you had that. I was out every day. Me and there's a whole lot of cats that was out not a whole lot, definitely was the minority of cats that was out every day.
Yeah.
But we all okay. No, there was whole neighborhood. In Williamsburg, Brooklyn, there's blocks in Borough. Is it Borough Hall? Because I gotta walk through. Like there's communities of Hasidic or like miles of, and they got projects.
My man,
I used to go there and shop because they wouldn't let me shop in the or some of the spots I wasn't welcome to food shop, but they would always let me food shop in those neighborhoods because they were like, yeah, we good with the whole. They wasn't really with.
They were was having like weddings and bar mitzvahs at that time.
But they were. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, these areas is as densely populated as any hood anywhere, with cats everywhere. Yeah, and everybody was fine. You know what I'm saying? It's
killing.
like, it's almost like enough to like disprove, like the killer germ theory.
My man is ready to go down the X-Files.
I mean, call it X-Files, but they're okay. I'm okay.
Everybody
everybody who's like, we don't really.
Nah, I get you.
It's okay. I don't call it X-Files or just call it.
Man, I'm just fucking.
Just say.
The thing is this, like, navigating those kind of talks always become very challenging based on a variety of things. But the reality is that I at that point in time, I felt that it was heavily centered against just chastising people at such an extreme approach. I mean, look at what happened to the nurses. Yo, they went from at 7 p.m. Think they're saving the world.
Honking horns at 7.
Banging
outside clapping. Yeah, it was crazy. It was
on the dot.
And every day. And then, like, months later, fuck you! You're trying to kill our children, and you're forcing the
because they didn't want to get vaccinated, right?
Exactly. So all that, and so it was just so extreme. Yeah. And for me, just a casual conversation of, hey, let's get together and let's catch up, became very extreme because people would be like, nah, are you vaccinated? Are you this? What, are you watching that? And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I just wanted to catch up with you, fam. And so it was very, for me, it was interesting. And also, at the time, having my shop, NoHo Sound, I had so many events and things happening lined up. And so for so many artists that I was helping by offering them the space for free, these people just went from having potential and possible income to having nothing coming through.
It was a big pause.
And so for me to see it on the artist side, I was just like, damn, man. It was just drastic on many levels. And these are small time artists, because you know, I've been to your events, dude, and you're rocking fucking stadium style size shit, and I'm like,
nice.
coño, bro.
Oh man.
Yo, my man,
I won't correct
Oh,
them.
man.
We out here at the stadium.
Yeah.
Yo, there was one time, I forgot the name of this venue. I think it's like on 14th Street. It's not Irving Plaza. It's like Greenwich or some shit. And I don't know. Like it's one, but it's a nice place, man. And yo, I go there, and I'm walking a little bit through the crowd before the event and shit. And I seen Black Thought from the Roots. I've seen fucking Pharaoh March.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That was all the way on the west side.
Yeah, on the east side. It's on the.
Oh, I was thinking it was probably the $10 bill at Highline Ballroom.
Nah. That I didn't get to hit that
Okay,
one because I
okay.
think that shit sold out like immediately.
Okay,
But it was another joint. Like you were the main headliner.
Yeah.
Like they had your name outside and all that good shit.
True that.
And they
I know what you're talking about. That was Gramercy.
Gramercy
Yeah,
Ballroom.
big shot to Pharaoh come through that show. Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, my man's got other fucking
Rappers
rappers
there. Word
coming
up,
to check
word
out
up.
his show.
Yeah, that's
Yo,
fire. That's
man,
fire.
I was
That's fire.
mind blown.
That's fire.
I was like, this is crazy. So I was already like, you know, fanboying the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I was like, but then the shit started getting like packed as we getting closer because you know all this shit runs on color people time, right? And you're like, all right, you know, you try to show up at 8, but 8 is like the networking hour, and then like 9:30, you know, 9 shows up the warm up dude, and then by like 10, that's when the
That's
headline comes.
yeah.
And so we hit him that, and I was like, all right, let me go grab my seat. I'm sitting like all the way in the motherfucking top, and he does his show and he's rocking, right?
Kills it.
And yo, murdering it. I forgot like what album you were on at that time because you've dropped
We
a
got a
slew
lot
of
of records,
projects, and he's there. And yo, my man puts on the track that I produced for him, the We Can Fly shit.
You must
Yo,
have lost your mind.
and he tells the crowd, like, you know, everybody move your hands, wave your hands in the air. But you gotta understand the magnitude of the amount of people that were there. And then whoever's the lighting designer fucking shines the light on the crowd. And I was like, yeah.
That was fly. Somebody took video of that. I remember that.
Yeah,
The
that's
We Could
awesome.
Fly from that show was fly, and it was footage that I used when people would ask, "Is there live footage that you want?" For a while, the We Could Fly from that show, cause that was, it sounded deaf. Everybody had their hands up, but it was pretty deaf.
Yo, it like just experiencing it and the energy and it's totally like it blew my motherfucker.
Yeah.
mind. Like I cried. I was like, oh my god.
That's fire. That's fire.
Because going from our early beginnings and Dre was bringing it to my attention. Matter of fact, you want to share your story?
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to be there when y'all started first working, and what impressed me was, bro, that your way of rapping was incredible, and you wasn't rapping what everybody was rapping. It was like positive, different, and it was a good sound. And I remember that you had the song Soul Clap.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I was supposed to be the soul clapper for that show. What was that show?
Oh yeah, I remember that, right? But you didn't make it.
I sucked. You fired me in the gym. We were playing ball. I was so nervous. He was like, yo, all you gotta do is do. I'm like, I was so nervous.
A-holes calling the cops on me constantly. Can I catch us concentrate? Every single day's millisecond I contemplate.
Clapping on beat.
Oh man,
I got fired while playing ball, bro. Well, that show was amazing. I remember, what was that show at?
Oh, that was in Bowery.
In Bowery. It was in
Bowery.
Bowery.
Was that the
yeah.
first show?
That was
the first show.
Yeah,
The first show.
March 30th, 2007.
Jeez.
That's
Wow.
I remember that because that's my anniversary. Yeah.
Wow.
But you know, the days of us hanging out,
Yeah.
that was my very first days. Like my very first rhyming days was with y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the very first tracks I was rhyming with was with you. That my first EP was called Nourishment, and was it all 9 tracks of yours?
Yeah.
Right. It was all 9 Ron Kane tracks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah. So it's great to be back here because we're talking about, you know, it's not even really like talking about we got together early. Like we was the culmination really to like the beginning was us together. You know what I'm saying?
I was
For me.
No. I mean, yo, dude. In so fast forward to like 2 weeks ago, November 8th or a few weeks ago, and you had a show, album release party with Say Shishi.
Say she, big shouts to Say She.
And show was dope. My man,
great show.
Number one, I remember at one point back in the days, this nigga used to rhyme so fast, right?
Yeah. I remember you telling yo, wait, you gotta slow down. He used to be killing it. Like, yo.
That when he's fucking rapping, I had to like tell him stop so he could cut it, and I could like think, what the fuck this man just said?
Yeah.
He's like, I remember something, the coat of arms, and yo, I was like, what? And yo, I remember at one point, you know, when the editing process, you were running out of breath, so we were like stop and cut. And then he was like, nah, you know what, Ron? We gonna do this in one take. And I'm like, El Diablo.
Let's go.
Yeah, the dude is like, I'm tickling my weenie with bikinis. And going like at 1,000,000 miles per hour. And then like years later, I might be mistaken, but I think this dude was jump roping while doing his rap to build up his fucking endurance.
Oh, wow.
It
That's
works.
crazy.
It's a good technique. You know what I'm saying?
And so like my man's commitment to fucking making sure that at that time, you also got to keep in mind, 2007, 8, 9, you know, this is before mumble rap, like very, very before mumble rap.
Yeah. That wasn't even close.
No way. You know, and dudes at that time were rapping with no backup sound, like with no backup lyrics or anything like that. At most, you had another dude with you rapping part of your lyrics, and you'd be like, all right, man, make sure you got to rehearse, and motherfuckers you put on, they always high and they forget shit.
Yeah.
You gotta like fire them.
Or they're clapping off beat.
But yo, so you know, fast forward to this most recent show. Dude, you were fucking going off.
Nice.
Like, yo, you didn't miss a beat. And what was most impressive is how eccentric your following, your crowd was. Because yo, you on one end of the spectrum, you'll have like your typical hip hop head. But then there was like a few old doñitas, like yo, that were going bar for bar with you.
Yeah.
There was like 2 doñas, bro, and I'm like.
And then you have the white hipsters that live out in Bushwick too. On top of that, so it was a very eclectic crowd.
Well, you know, it was a Homeboy Sandman and Say She bill.
Yeah.
So you know, there definitely was a lot of Say She. Yeah. But however, you know, I do pride myself on the you know, I think it's just music for people to love music. You know what I'm saying? So I'm never really looking to, you know, you talk about how the raps was never like everybody else's raps or whatever. So you know, I let everybody who's interested in knowing. I talk to music about anybody. You want to talk about music? You know, if there's a conduit for me to insert myself into I'll do that. You know what I mean? I'll let them know what's going on with me, and there's people that love music from all walks of life. You know what I mean? There's people that love music in the city, in the suburbs, in the, you know, whatever type of classification you got, and they all rock with how I get down. You know what I'm saying? So they all come to the show.
But you put in a lot of work though, cause even when in that time when we was about to do that show for Greenwich, what was it?
For
Bowery. We printed out flyers and everything, and you was right there on the train with us.
Definitely.
Passing little shits around. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was on the grind from the beginning, and every time you come in, you'll throw your coat down. It's like, all right, so what's the beat? All right, so what's this? All right, so what we gonna do? Yeah, so you was always on the grind, man. You was always, and I'm happy to hear that you headlining and you overseas and you doing all your thing, because you put in that work for sure, man. Definitely put in that work.
God is great, man.
I have a question. I work with actors a lot, and sometimes you hear them do like crazy warm-ups right before a show. Do you have any warm-ups before you do a show, like where you? That's like an example of the shit I hear from the actors. So.
I actually don't have anything like that.
Yeah.
Even though people have even, you know, I've gotten advice on stuff like that from from J Live is giving me advice. Bruv Ali is giving me advice because I even started to lose my voice in the middle of that show.
Really?
Because it's my first time rocking, but I always just fight through it, and then it comes back.
Yo, you drank
That's like my
20
technique.
cans of
Oh my
death
God.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that was. I was like, what is he drinking? And it was just water. I had no
It was
idea.
just water, but that was all they had, the liquid death. I don't understand. But I be got to keep hydrated up there. But
What is the feeling of going overseas and doing overseas shows and people knowing your songs overseas and all that? Gotta be an amazing feeling.
it is amazing. I mean, it's first of all, it's just miraculous. For cats, we worldwide over here. I'm about to be back in Europe in February and
Nice.
and March of 2023. So everybody stay tuned on that. But
And yo, you don't use social media to fucking promote your
nah, but
your shows.
I don't. But I got a email list. My
Let 'em know.
email is homeboysandman@gmail. So everybody
Nice,
listening to this want to know what's shaking? Email me homeboysandman@gmail, and then I'll add you to this list of what's shaking and all that. You know what I mean? But the one thing about overseas that I'll touch on, it's a little America. I got America the beautiful. I'm grateful. America's great. I love New York. It works in progress. Everything ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff is very imperfect. You know what I'm saying? We work on it. No doubt about it. But one thing that is superior in pretty much every other. One thing America is the worst at is dissemination of good music. It really is the worst. You know what I mean? Like, you go to Europe or even Japan or even every place I've gone, you could hear here in New York. We from New York.
Yeah.
We make records. They good. You know what I'm saying? We can't. The number one record, Hot 97 is the number one rap station.
Yeah.
If you want to hear a record of ours, you got to stay up. Till you gotta be up Sunday night between 12 and 2 a.m.
2:37 in the morning.
Yeah, if you want to get one joint, and if you get that one joint, you get maybe a couple spins a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not that you go to the UK and they spinning, hot records that aren't famous, that aren't household names at 8 o'clock. If you go to Belgium or something like that on the number one radio station, like. I'll go overseas and I'll sit in at a radio station and I'll be on air at 8:30 on Saturday at night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they'll be
in.
talking like we talking now. Where I don't. That's a lot more difficult to come by for an act that isn't a mainstream act in America.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So one thing that overseas really shows is whenever people get access to fly joints. I understand why a lot of artists, people regarded as underground or independent, really just wind up just going over there all the time and really just escaping over there.
Yeah.
But it's not because it's just because cats get to hear our joints way more out there.
Yeah.
That's strange that a cat from New York, can headline. I'm happy. I'm not complaining. But I'll go someplace for the first time and have a crowd of 600 people. You know what I'm saying? That it'll take me a while to That's all I'm saying. But so that's one thing that I love. That's one thing I love about
Who the fuck
overseas.
is your PR guy that is like, do not talk shit about New York or the American market? Porque el diablo, my man is like, you know what? Nobody sees now. Fuck this.
But I don't know if I could be wrong. I don't know, but no major station in New York City have like a underground or independent hour or and that's weird.
It's just real late with Rosenberg. It's still that's what I was referencing when I was talking about Sunday night between 12 and 2.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours a week.
Oh wow.
When there is a loosening of the that when you'll hear some joints that you won't, they'll be different from the 15 joints that you hear throughout the week. Okay. Or I assume it's still like that.
The realities of how it works is that those are the hours that have the least amount of ad buying time, and so they rather give them the time rather than having dead air. But in regards to ad buying time, you want to work with artists that can introduce consumerism. And those artists that introduce consumerism usually target the mass audiences. And then that becomes an entirely different rabbit hole of conversations. What I'm trying to get at is that the art comes last, the consumerism comes first, ad buying, product placement.
America the Beautiful.
America the Beautiful. So in fact, they're actually great at it. No, I'm just
Has Spotify and those streaming services changed how, or like who has access to your music?
Not that I know of. I just mean like for radio stations.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
like I just mean like mainstream outlets. But that was a great explanation. That makes a lot of sense, as far as the ad buying and all that.
No worries. Oh no, I put everything into logistical, practical, explanations. Purpose.
But the good thing is now that you don't really need radio stations like that no more. So many podcasts and streamlines and all that. It's like really
But then the market is very saturated as well.
Super
So you need to
That
stand
too.
out.
That
so
too.
what,
You gotta get on those curator playlists.
Yeah, that's right.
and so in reality, actually, radio stations are still relevant because of the driving consumer, which is a very big population. So they don't see the value in signing up for like SiriusXM or those kind of services.
Yeah.
So they'll just use fucking regular Hot 97.
Yeah,
and all that.
it's easy.
And
Yeah.
no matter what, that's still playing in your
Yeah.
head. You know what I mean? It's just the whole fucking brainwashing.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it still has a very strong consumer base, and plus the ad buying time. When it comes to Spotify and all that kind of stuff, do you use the internet?
Yeah, I use Spotify to listen to joints. You know what I'm saying? I got my Spotify subscription and whatnot. But Untitled, which has the waves, which you put me on to, which I prefer Tidal for that. But
because you have and the reason I said that, and aside from it being a joke, you do have a song called "Never Use the Internet Again" or hashtag Never Use the Internet.
Yeah. But at that time, I was still on the net, and it was kind of like tongue in cheek or whatever, even though it was really me being like, yo, this is so corny. See, I feel that it's corny for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't add to me. Like, everybody different. Like, if some people feel enriched, a lot of people come up to me and they're like, yo, I think it's great that you're off the net because I want to get off the net and I feel like it's ruining my day all the time. And I want to stop, and you actually stopped. You know what I mean? Those people, I don't feel like they should be on the net. They don't feel like they should be on the net, but they still are. That's where I was. You know what I'm saying? If somebody come up to me, yo, I use the net, I feel great. Boom, that's, everybody different. You know what I'm saying?
So wait, what made you stop using the net?
I didn't. It was a huge distraction.
Not even Google?
No, well, I don't like Google at all. Can I say something about Google?
Please.
This is
You're probably
my
the first person I
first time
know
saying
that
this.
doesn't use Google.
No. I'll use Google. I'm not saying I don't use Google. I'll use Google, but this is gonna take about a minute.
Go ahead.
This is for you.
I don't rocks with Google. You know what I'm saying? Imagine this. Let's get sci-fi for a second. Imagine if there was a website where people went to find out what was true. That's already crazy, right? Imagine if there was a website that was so synonymous with truth that the name of the website became synonymous. Like, people didn't even say, go search that out, go find that. They say, go blank that, right? They said, imagine that. That's already science fiction.
Yeah.
In that science fiction world, like, that's a lot of power. Like, that's crazy
Absolutely
power. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, who's going to be running that? Like, that much power, that's so much power, like, who we were, like Mother Teresa or Martin Luther King, like, maybe even those types of...
Yeah.
If you're going to have somebody running the site that the world goes to for truth, it needs to be somebody of some type of impeccable character, if that type of person even exists. But who's it definitely not going to be? It's definitely not going to be a corporation, right? There's no way, right?
Because the interests are not with us.
Yeah, there's no way that a corporation in a capitalist society has that tool without weaponizing it.
Of course.
It's unimaginable that they could have that type of tool without using it. And that's all I want to say about Google.
So how do you go to search for things? How do you search? Do you go to the library?
It's like I use the encyclopedia. No, it's like,
No.
When I have a dictionary, made a paper on my thing or whatever, but I do use Google. You know, I want to find out when a movie's showing. I'll go on
Gotcha,
Google.
yeah.
You mean to tell me you don't use movie phone?
But I really do try as much as I can to ask people about stuff. You know what I mean? I love to read. You know what I mean? Like, I love to get information from books. You know, not that all book. You know, I gotta sift through it. You know, I believe experiential knowledge is the only true knowledge. You know what I mean? But
Man, dropping bombs.
Yeah, that was a bomb.
but I try to use, you know, Google and the internet for trivial stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When there's a thing showing directions, I
like
came
that.
here on a GPS or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, the one I'm not with it. I don't like it. I don't like the
I didn't mean to put you in the house.
no, look, cats, the weather apps I don't like. Look. How you gonna look?
Fucking
what
ask
time is it
Alexa
right
every
now?
morning? What's the weather like?
But no, I'm not. Look, I'm not saying it without purpose. Okay, I go on the weather
You
app.
said what time is it? It is 3:30.
It's 3:30. Okay, you might look at your thing and say 4:30, rain 100%.
100.
Yo, who do you think you are, baby?
100. And not only that, they'll have like 95, 35%. Like, how the fuck do you know that? 35%? I don't believe it more if it would have been like, we don't really know, but it might rain. It might rain later, yeah.
Oh, I'm still bringing my umbrella.
No,
though.
they Pacific with 35%, my man. 35. Now, what? That shit confuses me. I don't know if I should bring my umbrella. I don't even know what the fuck is 35%, bro. Of rain. Like, what?
I use the map. I do the map with the trajectory. I do the whole shit.
And then they got the little drop like halfway. I don't know what the fuck how to maneuver with this, bro. I know.
All I'm saying is if it say 100% and it ain't raining, which happen all the time, by the way.
Yeah.
Then you lost your credibility to me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not using you no more. Got my rain jacket, my umbrella, rain boots.
I don't know what apps y'all are using, but each time I see there's like 50% more of rain, I bring my umbrella and it fucking rains.
Okay, maybe I need to
Yeah.
get your app.
Yo,
The day I don't bring it is when it's gonna downpour. So.
Damn, the shit is that everybody uses the internet for everything. You know what I'm saying?
Truly.
Like, so it's like shit.
My man said, yo, there was a phrase you used to use back in the day that always, it stuck with me for life. And so when you said that, yo, you saying it's 100%, it ain't raining out right now. You be on reason, man. This nigga used to say, yo, you be on reason. And I'm like, holy shit. Yo, you know what? That is absolutely applicable in so many conversations. And ever since then, when people say some like outlandish shit, I'm like, yo, man, you be on reason, bro.
That's a good one to bring back, actually. I'll join you in that, yo.
Nah, dude, it's pretty. I mean, you know, it's always wild because in a world where, yes, you're right, and I agree with you on a variety of aspects, and I won't go down that rabbit hole just because I don't want to take away from you, the artist, as a person, but at the same time, what makes it all the much more magnificent and very impressive is how you've maintained to the integrity behind the growth of your fan base, which I do see growing, and your projects and all that, without succumbing to using those tools. And I think that's very impressive because there are a lot of people in the arts especially that feel that they have to cave in and use those tools to amplify their projects or amplify awareness of who the fuck they are, period.
I'm with you. I don't use social media for my work at all. And I've been like, I'm like, I should do it. I feel like I need to do it, but I've been so stubborn against using it. I'm like, no, I don't want to go down that wormhole. Right. Seeing someone like you not use it and stick to that, it's like, okay, it's possible.
That makes me feel good.
He pushes me to try to use it.
It is, number one, it is possible. All things are possible through, but number two, you know, for me, it's always just about leveraging and being aware of what you're using as a tool and what you're using as a consumer, and being very mindful of that. So if you're using it as a tool, I think you're absolutely money. The thing is that, you know, people in our consumer demographic, not us immediately, but just in our consumer demographic, growing up have always been designed to be consumers, never creators, never developers. If anything, we're always told, don't do that from when you're a child. That won't bring you money. That won't do this, blah, blah. But when it comes to consumption and how we use the tools such as social media, you know, people use it on a consumption base, which is if you're spending fucking 4 to 5 hours a day, you know, scrolling through titties and ass or through whatever the fuck, then nah, nigga, you got a problem.
Yeah, you got a problem.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's but if you're using it as a tool to amplify your awareness, your information, and introduce that, you have a lot of things working against you. But in essence, if you use it as a portfolio, I do think it can help. But and so when a person, for example, for a person like me, where I'm working with negative $0, right? Like I'm beyond reason. I try to maximize what is promoted as free tools. However, I am fully aware that it's not free. It takes up your time. They're selling you the ads. Yo, my man, I remember like 10 years, what was it? Like, I would say 10 years ago. Like, I found it so weird. If I said Reebok, God damn, that shit would show up on my fucking on my thing. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But at that time, I didn't know anything about algorithms. I didn't know about AI, artificial intelligence. I didn't know about voice recognition. I didn't know about things because I was just using this shit as a fucking toy. And so when I see I see parents handing their children, I'm talking about a little boy, little girl, little toddler, whatever. You know, the kid is fucking going off, and rather than giving him a Lego set or a toy or something,
the phone, tablet,
tablet, and all you see is the kid like that.
Yeah,
glued.
they light up.
The kid is hooked. That kid don't got a. I mean, a kid got a shot. Everybody got a shot, but that's a tough situation. To come up with that as part of your reality from childhood. This is, you know, like that type of interaction and engagement.
And we talking about before they even walk.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You be in the stroller like this, you know what I'm saying? And they holding it like a grown ass person, swiping it like a grown ass person.
They see another little babies and swiping.
Yeah, like how you swiping like a grown person? You're like, what the fuck? Like how that works, bro?
And so you see the systemic and encyclical approach about developing more consumers. So you know these are realities. These are things that they would be very difficult to shift. And you can, and I know you, like, you know, as individuals, we can, and you have been. But, you know, in respect to pushing you in that direction.
Oh, I understand completely.
It's more as a tool.
Yes, yeah.
But individual, you know, like, and I don't disagree with what you said at all. And I mean, I always, in my mind and with others, it's analogous to smoking weed. Because for me, I used to smoke weed. Like,
yo, when we started, you used to go in, bro.
But that was before we started, though. That's when we first met.
Yo, when we first met, the first day, you came through, my man was going in. And I was like, and you kept forgetting your lyrics.
Yeah, but
and then you
I wasn't ready.
disappeared.
I wasn't, exactly.
For like 4 months. And my man came back and said, I ain't smoking.
So you stopped for
I stopped
the rap.
smoking. I stopped for life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I thought I might never rap again, because when I was meeting them cats, you know, I don't know if we met through Juma or Chetty, all these cats.
So Juma is cool with Gabe.
Right.
And so Juma connected you to Gabe, and then I met you through
right,
Gabe
okay.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Like, we would just blow it down all day.
And Juma and Aunt Morales, yo, they used to go
definitely. Yeah, Aunt Morales, I just see come to a show that I just had in Maryland earlier this year. You know what I'm saying?
Man. He's a poet that's in the Bronx, and he was one of the first Puerto Rican dudes to come out on Def Jam Poetry.
Oh, nice.
And so shout out to him, because I remember that shit being like a big thing.
Yeah.
Big shout. But for me, I had to shut it down in order to, you know, some cats will smoke and they won't smoke for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, some people are like that. Some people will have weed and not smoke it. I was never that way. I'm like, yo, there's weed we smoking. Well, like, where, you know, until it's done, and then we getting more. You know what I'm saying?
But seems relatively logical.
Yeah, but you know, for me, the app, you know, the internet is a major like, I don't think cats is being honest with they self, or me. I need to be honest with that's why I got off, because I was like, yo, this is a negative for me. I looked at my thing, it would say 4 hours a day. And 4 hours a day, yo, that's 2 waking days a week. You know what I'm saying? What's that? 28 hours, 4 times 7, that's 28 hours. That's 2 waking days a week.
It's the easiest math would be 4 times 5. Oh no, wait, it would be 2 times 5, so that's for the 10 hours. And
Hold up, you
no, wait,
confusing me.
wait. So
what?
you're talking about 2 hours a day?
No, 4 hours a day.
Oh, 4. So
It would
then
say 4.
4 times 5. That's 20 hours on the regular working.
Well, now I would feel 4 times 7 because you know.
That's a half a day of work.
Yo, my man.
That's a half day of work.
Yeah, I'm not even bringing it to the. I'm just.
Yo,
It was a lot. It's
it's a long time.
yeah, but
It is.
I wasn't the same way that I wasn't never the cat to smoke once and then smoke again 4 months later. I was the cat that was wasting his time online, so it didn't work for me.
You know, the average human checks their phone 386 times a day.
I believe it, yo.
Wow.
Yo,
Yeah.
look,
Wow. Jesus.
I believe it, yo.
Oh no, this is a fact.
I mean, you know, I didn't gather that info myself, but it could definitely be correct.
It's on a consumer report because that consumer report wants to see how many times you check your phone, and 3 hour average American 3.5 hours is spent on the phone itself. 2 hours and 27 minutes is spent on social media.
I'm gonna Google it after this.
None of that sounds far fetched. None of that sounds far fetched. And what I'm saying is,
I'm not beyond reason. No,
the cats that could use it without, like, this is life, babe. We're gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know when it's gonna
Time is
stop. You know what I'm
ticking.
saying? Like,
Time is
it
ticking.
could, like, days a week. You know, like hours a day. That's value. You know,
Yeah.
the cats that use it without it sucking from them. I feel like I run into them less than the cats that are like, I throw a thing on there. It ain't nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I meet them less.
No lie, I have a rule when I wake up every morning, not to check my phone at least 2 hours. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning.
Good
2
for
hours.
you.
Dad, you wake up at 4:30 in the morning?
Wow.
What you wake up so early for?
I got this morning routine going on, man. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
awesome.
You working out?
Good
I'm
for
working
you.
now,
Good for you.
reading, meditating. I'm trying to just change shit.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So in the beginning, that shit was itchy. You know what I'm saying? So I'll get my coffee. Just look at my fucking phone, but it's now the easiest thing ever.
Yeah,
I
good
don't
for
even
you,
think
good for
about
you.
it.
Okay.
But on the flip side, during the day, it's like I gotta work on that part because it's like, god damn, I'm opening this shit for no reason. Now ringing,
real.
I know I got no emails, nobody's texting me, but I'm opening my fucking phone for no, just to open it. I swear to God, I'll be on the train, a chick look at me, I'm just opening my phone. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that? So it's just weird how it's so addictive. That it's just a lot,
It is.
bro. It's a lot.
Yeah. I had to put
It's a
those
lot.
rules for
It's a
myself.
lot.
I would, before bed and waking up, last thing before I go to sleep is on my phone, looking at bullshit, nonsense, and then waking up, same thing.
And it's sad when you're in a
Yeah.
restaurant and you see couples not even
no.
talking and
we
just
saw
on their
that the other
phone.
day. But
You know
now
what I'm saying?
I force myself to read.
Yeah,
So my
like-
phone's across the room. It's on silent.
You gotta make a rule.
Yeah, and
when I go out, no phone.
Oh, we're good at that. We're good. Yeah,
Put
yeah.
that shit face down.
yeah.
But I'm proud to get 20 minutes. But 2 hours?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, hell yeah. It was rough in the beginning, bro.
Yeah, good for
Glad
you.
you
pulled my way
you fought
through.
through it.
Oh man, made it through. Good for you.
Made it through. Yeah, that shit was rough. But, and it's crazy to think that shit is rough. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, but,
There definitely many perspectives
Yeah.
and spectrums of life, and it's been absolutely beautiful to know I could cross paths with people that can grow beyond those things, because I have been with people that are just stuck on it, and I'm like, my man,
Yeah,
so then what the fuck we doing here?
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Like, why
It's
am I
crazy.
chilling with you?
It's crazy. And people you work with never tell you like, yo, you know, I might grow your family.
Oh yeah, they tell me all the time.
all the time, man.
Yo,
all the time. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
let me tell you something. From labels
And why
to
don't you-
booking agents to
Why don't you put it in your contract for them to get you a social media manager?
Yeah.
Like,
You
that
wanna-
way you don't got to deal with it. Like, let them take care of it. I mean, just out of curiosity, I don't know.
they actually started doing that at one point. And see, I am Homeboy Sandman. You know what I mean? And it began as, this is no good for me. You know. Then I realized, and I realized really regularly, that a lot of people are like, yo, if not for you, obviously having a good time without being online, I think it was impossible. Thank you for not doing it.
Yeah.
You know? For a couple of weeks, I was like, fine, you know, knock yourselves out. And it just didn't feel right to me that I could do without. I don't like it.
Okay.
So why have somebody else working it on my on my behalf?
Copy,
I don't.
copy.
I'm not into it. So
I don't want to put you through this ordeal.
but but I have cats have been promoters. They call it, the name of these cats is promoters, babe.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And they'll book me. They'll give the deposit before they realize, because I have tour history. You know what I'm saying? And I used to be online. Like I've been offline now for maybe 2 years. I've been completely off. But I was also very late to get on. So I had a small, but I have tour history is my point. And so last time I was there, I had this many whatever people. Okay, book him. He's worth this much money, right? And then they'll find out after the fact that I don't have social media. How we gonna promote this? I mean, you're a promoter, big. You know what I'm saying? Well, print a poster or something. Do a flyer. I don't know, big.
God.
Like I'm a rap,
It's like that's my job is to do my art.
But
on
they
stage.
like that now.
Yeah.
A lot of them, not all of them. There's some great promoters, and not great
Yeah.
promoters are some I appreciate just as much. Because I'll go do shows in rooms that I packed. Shoot, I'm thinking of a show on the last tour that I did in August. Last time I was at this room, it was packed. Okay, I went there now. It was thin. It was very thin. It wasn't my fault. Somebody didn't let nobody know that I was gonna be there.
Yeah,
The cats didn't decide they wasn't
yeah.
gonna come. You know what I'm saying? And but some promoters be like that, but they're not really promoters. I don't know what they are. You know? Yeah.
They're social media amplifiers.
And
They just
they're
cats
made
to take a cut.
obsolete.
They just take a cats to take a cut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fucking, it's legal theft, I
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
All these
real.
motherfucking legal thieves, yo.
That's wild.
So, quick question though: when you write, you still write, or you use your phone to type?
I use my phone to type.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient. But I had the book. Yeah. And then I got the voice note in there too, so I can remember the flow.
Oh, okay.
When we was recording, I couldn't remember the flow. Half those flows wasn't even the ones that I wrote, but I was in those days on 165th, right? In the hallway, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I got to go for the gusto here. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a great opportunity. I still don't know nothing about record. Every rapper now record himself, make his own beat, everything. I'm still like, just somebody tell me when the mic is on. I don't know how to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, I just got to. So I was confident, and I came in there with my bars, and I was ready to go, and I felt confident. But I was like, I'm not letting these cats see me jumble over this, over this flow right here. If I can't remember how I wrote it, it's gonna be new for the album. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, the ad-libs were the fucking worst to track because he would change the fucking
Oh my God.
because he's like, nah, that's not how I wrote it. I'm like, nigga, you just recorded it and I got it on wax. Like, I mean, I got it on the hard drive. I can't say wax. And I'm like, I'm playing it back. He's like, nah, but that's not how I wanted it. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Thank you, Ron, for sticking with me through those days. Yo.
And the thing is that we're in the room, and after a while, like you think it would be done in an hour or two, and motherfuckers ain't doing nothing, start coming and want to chill, they want to smoke, they want to drink, and like, but me and him, I'm here at the fucking console desk, and he's literally on the hallway. And I'm looking at him, and we're just talking to each other through headphones, and there's all these motherfuckers in the background just chilling, doing nothing, because motherfuckers ain't have. You had a Sprint phone back then.
Yeah, we had phones. I think people was playing Tekken in the back. NBA Streets. He robbing in the hallway around. She's like, yo, shut the fuck up. He's like, it was an adventure. I ain't gonna lie.
Yo, the day I knew shit was popping, well, aside from my man handing out flyers, this dude went somewhere, I think like I forgot whether it was like fucking Union Square or something like that. My man came through with mad chalk and just started fucking on the floor, chalking out his name.
Oh, that's dope.
Wasn't even the name, was the lyrics.
Oh, the lyrics.
Oh, shit.
And me, you remember my boy Eric? He was from Dykeman. Big shout. Me and him would be everywhere. We found out where, you know, the Double XL headquarters was, and we found out where the Def Jam headquarters was, and we go at 4 a.m. and write out the verse on a sidewalk.
Look at that.
Look how
Guerilla
stupid
Marketing.
this is.
Damn.
Homeboy
Yeah.
Sandman. So cats would go to work and they'd be like, yo, this verse is stupid, walking into whatever ridiculous office they was walking into.
Damn, fuck handling your
Guerilla
demo.
marketing.
I'm writing the lyrics on the concrete, goddammit. You gotta listen to me. The hustle is real.
Yo, man, that's when I knew shit was wild. And because on top of that, a random lady, like I see, like just a random lady goes up to my man and says, "Oh, what do you do?" My man said it with all the motherfucking pride in the world. In the world. I'm a rapper.
I rap, bitch. I'm a fucking rapper.
But you know, it's like in those early stages where you kind of like, you know, you conscious, or I'm an artist, or I'm just like, I'm a rapper, I'm a musician. And then it blinked twice.
Love that.
And Shorty was like, what? and he goes, yeah. And you see, I'm in my head, the story is your name, but no, he's like, these are my lyrics. This is about $20,000 worth of ad space right here. And I was like, this nigga took it to a whole nother level. You gotta understand, back then, like, I wasn't even thinking that far. I just wanted to make bitches.
That's genius, though.
And I think I wanted to make bitches. I wanted to make beats.
A little Freudian slip, y'all. So we about to get on, yo.
I just wanted to make beats and have bitches and drink. And I never smoked, so I just drink and bitches and beats, right? And hopefully money in the mix at some point. And but my man brought fucking a whole nother realm of thinking.
That is
And then
genius,
that's when I was like, yo, I gotta fucking step my game up.
Yeah, that is genius. That is marketing to its fullest, bro.
So to bring it back, you know, full 360, I can see why you be tight at these promoters.
Yeah.
Promoters are wild.
Better start fucking writing
not
lyrics
doing
on the
their job.
concrete.
Yeah,
Fuck
for real.
that. Yeah, hell yeah. So hell yeah.
Have you gone
creative.
to those levels of promoting ever since then or not?
Not really. Just because like that was such a magical time, you know what I'm saying? Like the true germination, like the true birth of everything, and there was so much energy. Like I was barely sleeping at that time. Like I didn't mind being up all night, you know, putting flyers in the train, writing, you know, things on the sidewalk, like anything. Like I did that for years. Like I did that for 2-3 years, and I feel like now, you know, thank goodness, you know, I'm grateful to God because some people love music. You know what I mean? I feel like you actually love music.
Absolutely.
You know, and but everybody don't love music. A lot of people that think they love music don't even love music. You know, but music is important to us. It's rich. It's valuable. If we could find some music that enriches us, then that's invaluable to us, and we want to look for that. You know what I mean? I needed to gain a certain amount of momentum or reach so that I could reach enough of those people that now I don't need to do stuff like that anymore. And I'm grateful, and I would do it all again if I had to, but now I just have to put my heart into my records, and as long as my records got heart in them, then they'll spread just like when we was kids. We used to want to put our friends on to the hot record before they knew about it. You know what I mean?
Grassroots.
So you know, but that was all part of reaching that stage where I could just allow it to trickle out like that, you know?
And it's funny that you say that some people love records and some people, I think it's exactly what you're saying. Some people use records, the feel good records. When you break up, you listen to those type of records. You use them, you know what I'm saying? To love music, this is like another level to it. It's like
to love music is less common, you know?
Yeah,
like
it's less common,
it's fun to, you know, oh, this is my jam, or you know, but you know, me and Ron, we you know, me and Ron, you remember we ain't even always get along like that. You know, but we did always share the seriousness of music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the importance of that. That's one thing that we always had in common off the rip. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Thing is that people just use music as a tool.
As a tool. Yeah.
Consume it.
Exactly. And so when you use it as a tool and just consumption, you're using it as a tool to work out, to go to the gym, to get through work, get to your day. So you're using it as a commodity. And at that point, you're not allowing yourself to fully engage and be immersed into the musical experience.
Break it down.
I remember when I used to tell people about selling high-end speakers. I'd be like, you do what? And, you know, it's like, oh, I could just, you know, play music off my phone. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. But it's all relative to the experience you're looking for. But, yo, when I was telling people, oh, I make a living off of selling $200,000 speakers, and they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, and that's not including the cables, the amplifier, and then the source. So fuck your phone.
But that's why you were
don't
so
even know
good
what
at
you
it.
want.
You were so good at it because you loved music.
Right.
You know how to break down. Like there've been times that I went and I was like, yo, how much is that speaker? Oh, 50,000. I'm like, what the fuck? And then he was like, sit right here, and I'm gonna break it down to you. Do you hear the top speaker? The way it? I'm like, bro. Like,
He has a speech. You had a speech that you would give at the start of your events about the beginning of music with the human flute bone.
Yeah.
Right?
So what happens
Give
is...
us a speech.
the way your brain operates is actually that music is the only thing to separate you from human and non-human, so animals and things like that. One of the oldest man-made artifacts is a flute made out of human bone. And so before language was language, people would get together to the beat of a drum. And you got to understand that, you know, this is always something that would just culminate people together. It's always wild to me because when you think about that, you got to understand, like, people always go like a human fire and not. It's always been music because that introduces brain development to a whole nother degree. And I don't recall the speech verbatim exactly because I used to do it every event, every day. And so I had to have it down packed. But at its core, it was always relative to sharing with people that don't take a musical experience for granted. Outside from it being, you know, caring for the artist, the idea is that it's supposed to transport you to the metaphysical. It's supposed to engage you to a whole nother world. I mean, some people call it spiritual and all that kind of stuff, but this is a form of therapy. But at its core, and the definitive fact, it's not beyond reason. If you go to even the Museum of Natural History, in the human section, they say the first thing that introduced that transition of animal or, you know, Homo sapien to human, like to man, was music. Once they discovered the flute made out of human bone. Wow. And I was just like, all right, shit. And
shit is serious.
And then you go into the whole thing about how we're made out of 90% water, and how drums, bass, low frequencies travel through you, and then that speaks into your chakra. You call it chakra, spirit, all these kind of things. But these are the actual facts of how music can transmit actual frequencies. So then it becomes physics too. Wow. So it's a whole nother shit.
Word up, bro.
So like this is like facts on that level. It's not like, oh, I'm pulling this shit out my ass.
It's not Google.
Yeah, it's not Google.
Google facts.
This is like fucking biological
encyclopedic knowledge.
That might wind up in a rhyme. What you mean? I'll credit you. I'll give you a shout for sure.
Is there anybody mainstream that you really fucking with right now?
I come from a time like I was a Cool G Rap fan. He talked about, you know, I'ma kill people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was a different era that we grew up in, and you know, you were talking about like you don't even need the internet, or you don't even need this because now they got podcasts. So you don't need the radio. Every time something to spread something pure and good comes along, there's a little period, and then they figure out how to, you know, usurp it. Okay, well. They got so we're gonna have our podcast that we find a way to make the end podcast. You know what I'm saying? So these are the podcasts you pay attention to. It don't matter if you got a hot podcast. But all I'm saying is, in the era, you know, and I'm talking about content. Content is very important. You know, I got a niece and a nephew. My nephew's talking to me about drill rap.
Oh shit!
But people, it's a records about stabbing you. But I mean, I grew up listening to Mobb Deep. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I wasn't. You know, all I'm saying is. I was more open at a time to check in for whoever could rap, regardless of what they were saying, when it was more of a spectrum of human life being presented. You know, if you had G-Rap and you had Tribe Called Quest and you had, you know, Kwame or Biz Markie or Just Ice, you know, there's always been gangster killers, there's always been that. Yeah. But they, you know, I come from a time when there was also Kid and Play, we love to dance, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, because this is a musical talent. It's a musical gift. And musical talent is distributed, you know, evenly across people that sell drugs, to people that work at McDonald's, to people that cut grass, to people that sell speakers, you know what I mean? So once it started being like, yo, this is, the content is all one. All the women rappers are the same.
Yeah.
They all are the same. All the men rappers are the same.
Yeah.
Everybody the same. They look the same. They sound the same. They want the same. It's the same dream. We the same. You know, that's very damaging. It ain't. I don't need none of that. You know what I mean? So if there's a couple of cats in there that can rap, they not getting no ear from me.
You know who you put me on to that I fucking like fell in love with, that I actively listened to, and I'm like, coño, man, I wish I would have made a track he would pick up. You put me on to Kemba.
Kemba, no doubt. Why see the Cynic slash
so
Kemba?
why see the Cynic at the time when I met him, and then he grew to be Kemba, and I was just like, wow, man, my man. And he was at your shows too, and I ran into him real quickly. So shout out to him, man.
Big shout to him. Big shout to him. Super duper gifted. You know what I mean? Like. Don't have me out here saying, and you know, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to everybody. You know,
don't let me promote these other niggas.
I'm not gonna be out here trying to get at any human being in particular. I'm not trying to get at Drake. You know, I'm not trying to get at nobody. I love everybody. Shouts to everybody. I wish you the best day, whatever you doing. You know what I'm saying? But don't have me out here trying to act like there's two cats. I know 50 cats dumb nicer than the two cats people bring up all the time.
Yeah, you know what is it too, that I think that everybody like in hip hop and things like that are so sensitive. Like they can't hear. Like, I can't fuck with your shit. They get mad. They'll fucking shoot you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't.
Their artist souls are sensitive.
like it's serious. Like,
it's their only artistry outlet from poverty.
Yeah,
so if you take that away from them, what else do they got love? No, just fuck with you.
Well, you know, that's a truth. You know, there's a lot of truth said in jest. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of identity that people put in, like,
that too,
you know, like.
Yeah.
You don't like the rapper I like?
Yeah. They win in a fight.
Yeah.
They win in a fight. Yeah.
I don't know who I am.
Yeah, you don't hear these bars, bro? Like, god damn. Bro. Like, shit.
Yo, I mean, I know you, when we were exchanging messages, I promised you that we would stay at a certain time. So, you know, I know we've gone past it, and I will...
Yo, Ron, this has been a blast, man. Great to get up. You know, thanks for having me. You know
wait, hold on, wait. Before
H, Dre,
chill the fuck out, man. Wait, there's one last segment that I'm gonna try. No. Calm the fuck down, bro. I didn't know you trying to dip on me that quick.
I do this motherfucker. I gotta go.
Like, yo, give me like 2 more minutes, man. Yo, this. Hey, you know, thank you once again for your time. Shit. But there's a segment that we call here Last Call for Words.
My last call for words of what happened with the podcast today?
Yeah,
man, of course. I always gotta remind myself. This is my 3rd podcast. That was going on today that I gotta say that, you know, experience that I had with Homeboy Sandman and the grind, and seeing when you put in your all and you work hard and you do whatever you need to do, you get where you need to be. So, you know, keep following your dreams and keep doing what you're doing, man.
Honorable, lovely Lady H.
It's been a pleasure having this conversation with you, and I really respect you as an artist, and I respect your integrity as well.
Thank you. Thanks very much, yo.
Dropping big words.
Big words.
Now you have a lot of integrity, and it's great.
I appreciate that.
My brother, Homeboy Sandman.
My last call for words is God is great. You know, thank God so much. My last call for words is also, I thought you were gonna tell her. I remember you ate wasabi one time for $5.
Oh,
you put all
shit,
up your
that's
nose
right.
or something.
I forgot. That's the first time I ate wasabi. That's right.
But you ate like a clump of it and just co-ate it.
Yeah, I forgot
Didn't know what it was
about
about.
that. I didn't even know it was wasabi. Yeah. Should like it was green and shit. I was like, you gonna do it for $5? Had me crying. Damn, that's old school, Brody. That's old school. That's right.
But my last is about energy, because you know, this has been a lot of fun to talk, and I feel like it's been useful. I'm excited about sharing this with people. Like, I feel like what we've all shared, from the stuff you was sharing about the bone to just the things we discussed and all of our different viewpoints, have been meaningful, and I think that is part of the energies in it. Includes my boy Checarelli that stopped through. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Checarelli.
Yeah,
shout out.
And I do think about the fact that it was December 2006 when I wrote my first sober rhyme. So it was either maybe January 2007 when we first met, you know what I mean? And here we are, you know, 2022, what month is it?
About to go 2023. Like in
November.
2 months, yeah.
November 2022. And the energy is still, new places, new spaces, new projects, new podcasts, but the energy is still growing, it's still evolving, and it's very strong. And I'm grateful that we all still connected and intertwined in this way, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's always a blessing to be in your presence, because from back in the day till present day, you do carry a lot of energy. And your energy is fucking reinvigorating. And, sometimes I think in life, we just try to ignore the obvious and grow oblivious to a lot of things, which is something, simple as, make sure who you have around you, who are your friends, and all that kind of stuff. But I think it is very important to be mindful of who you have around you, because there are people that can either push you or just do nothing for you. Like, and that's cool. All of that is money. Everything is, but there's definitely a different feeling when you have people around you that make you always want to step up your fucking A game.
Mm-hmm.
And so, at that time and to this day, you've always been that inspiration. And I think everyone should remind themselves to, if not look for inspiration, be the inspiration. And I don't know how you go about your day to day, because life is life, and things contribute to us pivoting in life. But as you mentioned, his integrity, I've not seen you shift that. You've kept it, man,
Mm-hmm.
and you've rocked it. And the most important thing that I've always taken away from you, and that I've learned from you, is fuck it, just believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. Writing your fucking lyrics outside the double XL
Gangsta.
fucking office.
Gangsta.
Outside of the Def Jam office. Yo, you don't know who the fuck I am, but you gonna learn today.
Yes.
And that shit, man, I recently dropped a short film project, and I was rocking with that type of energy, and I was pissed that the rest of my team didn't carry that energy. And I am reminded that not everyone has that energy. Mm-hmm. And as much as you wanted to put it, you want to share that with them and you want to reinvigorate them, niggas will call themselves promoters but not do a motherfucking thing.
Yeah.
So my takeaway from all of this is to remind yourself to be your biggest cheerleader. Mm-hmm. Remind yourself to be your biggest amplifier. Remind yourself to be your biggest promoter. And remember that it is whether it's fake it till you make it, but fuck, man, you say it enough times, you will believe it, you will become it, and you will embody it. And my brother, you've done that since fucking 2007, 6 when I met you.
Damn.
And to this day, that shit is shining even further, man.
Word up.
thank
Congratulations,
you,
my brother. Congratulations.
Thanks so much,
brother.
man. Thanks for that love, man. I send a love back. Yo, from just words to the call it, everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all timeless.
Yeah.
So it's,
I
we keep
appreciate
putting our energy, and we just let it blossom. There's slow burns, there's fast burns. Just keep creating,
There you go.
Keep creating.
Keep
brother.
creating.
Growth, nothing but growth.
Appreciate you, man. This is Dre Drizzle.
Yes.
Lady H.
What's up?
Thank you to my special guest, Homeboy Sandman. My name is Ron Kane. This is Just Words. Nobody cares. We love you, and we out.
Look, this is what we're gonna do. Instead of, you're gonna go like this. When the time is. Yo, does anybody know that I put out a record called Nourishment 2007. That's the first thing I ever did, yo. I drop it. My boy Ron Kane did this beat in the early years. This is the primordial ooze. You know what I'm saying? Two records right here. Tell me when I put this out. Yeah, tell me when I put it out. Put your hands up. We can't fly.
Anyone that disagrees can't speak. My dungarees covered in debris. That was me at the sorority security breach. Follow my lead, count the bounty. Whenever the sand speak, you hear the ching ching. Been on the back street pumping a Pantene. Pro V, backstreet pumping a Pantene. My man, what the fuck do you mean? I'm trying to give a fuck what you say. What the fuck are you saying? I dig the routine, I fuck with the beat. But you too busy trying to be genius, trying to be deep. What I mean is I'm keeping it clean, cause MC's up in the game. Give me the creeps. It's all peace when I step on the scene and speak. Heat seeking the sweet, say when we 16. We can fly. We believe we can fly. We believe we can fly. We believe we can fly. I just had a bad dream. It was preteens, guzzling cans of caffeine. It was DTs rushing the lab and cold dust in a pad with kerosene. Big cats who go vats and creatine.